It's time for everybody's favorite game. How financially irresponsible was Andrew this month? Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and it is time for the September book haul. Before we get into that and we check the damage, please do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow. You can check the description box down below for links to all my social media, including the Patreon, the Discord, Pingo Books. It's all there for you to explore. Now, this is a lot of books. I will preface, this is a lot of books. Even for me, this is a lot of books. But I am diving into a whole new genre, and because of that, that genre being horror and thriller, I needed to go and acquire some books from that genre, and I've loaded my Amazon wish list, which is also in the description box down below, with some picks from that genre. And some of you were even kind enough to gift me some from my wish list, and we'll get to that. Thank you to everybody who sent me a book this month. But yeah, most of this haul, though, I got fairly cheaply. I'm going to call this the Pingo Books haul, because I probably got like 20 books off of Pingo this last month, and yeah, we're gonna have to dive into all of that. But let's start with the gift stack. I've got a nice little stack of books here. We've got some acknowledgments to give to some friends, and I'm just very, very appreciative of everybody who sent or gifted me something. I did, right off the top, I did a trade with one of my buddies here in town, and I had gifted him my Nicholas Eames books, and that's Bloody Rose and Kings of the Wild, which I read like 5 years ago, and I just haven't revisited since then. And he recently got a copy of 1980s paperback edition. I don't know if the camera's quite picking up the face on the cover of Stephen King's The Stand. This is the cut version, and I have the uncut version on my shelf. And so I decided, I was like, hey, are you comfortable with doing some sort of trade? And he said yes. So a huge thank you to my friend Daniel for coming in clutch. I like this edition, and I really kind of want to know what the story is like having those 400 pages removed from the text. So we've got The Stand starting off the list, and we're gonna basically fill up the back shelves because it's a lot of books, guys. Then, from my friend and patron, Palmer, I was sent Rex Burke's The Wrong Stop. It is a sci-fi caper. And basically, she was just like, hey, do you mind if I send you this book so you can showcase it on the channel? Because I think it's awesome. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Basically, let's read the back of the book. Hey, let's just say I love the cover. It's the blue, it's the swirly lines, it's the galaxy of it all. I love this. It says, ready for an adventure that's out of this world? Yes, actually, in fact, I am. Hutch has it all planned. College is out, backpacks ready for a summer train trip and around the famous sites of Europe. Summer train trip around the famous sites of Europe means matching party animal Sully, drink for drink, and dealing with conspiracy nut Jed, who's along for the ride. But it's nothing that Hutch can't handle until they meet a mysterious stranger on the way to Berlin. Faced with an extraordinary truth, they are drawn into a life-changing adventure, one that will have repercussions down the years. Off the rails and on the run, they're pursued from city to city by shadowy forces. In the end, there's only one place left for them to go, and one chance to escape. But as ancient secrets are uncovered, the next journey might just be a trip too far. This is obviously a sci-fi story, and I'm very excited to check this one out. I think it's going to be a bit on the funnier side, just by the cover, and I think I've seen the author's other works on like Instagram or stuff like that, and they have something about like Scotland or something like that. I don't know, but they seem to have fairly tongue-in-cheek sort of titles, so I'm excited for this one. Then, from my friend John from Talking Story, we've got Warp Asylum by K.J. Ryle. And essentially, he had a extra copy of this. I expressed interest in it, and he was like, do you want me to send it to you? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. This is an indie book about bipolar disorder. So it says, bipolar disorder is a chronic mental illness which causes dramatic shifts in a person's mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. The pendulum of bipolar mania can swing from absolute euphoria to utter despair in an instant, which I know to be true because I have people in my life who have bipolar. In severe cases, a sufferer may have to navigate their way through a psychedelic landscape of both audible and visible hallucinations, blurring the lines between fact and fiction. This book was conceived during a 6-month manic episode, which led to the destruction of all things I held most dear. So I believe this is kind of a life story of the author for KJ Ryle. Very excited to get into it. Like I said, I do have members in my life, members of my family and people in my life who do have bipolar. So very, very interested in Warp Asylum. And then, of course, for these two, I will have links to them in the description box down below if you want to check them out. Then I received a gift from a viewer on the channel, and this was very, very awesome. This is sent to me from Steven. Steven, thank you so much. I already did a short thanking you, but again, I am just incredibly in awe at the generosity and the gratitude from people who watch the channel, who want to send me books for my collection or to check out or to showcase on the channel to bring a wider awareness of certain stories. These are the Bachman books. Now, this is only 3 of the Bachman books. There are typically 4. Well, wait. Did they add? I know the original Bachman Books collection had Rage in it, but Rage is out of print because King doesn't like it anymore due to its subject matter. And I know this one has Long Walk. I'm looking for a glossary. And that would be helpful if it would tell me. I think this one's only got the 3 versus the 4. But yes, this is Bachman Books. It's a gorgeous edition, and I'm very, very happy to have this in my collection now. Yeah, it's got Roadwork, Long Walk, and The Running Man. So thank you so much, Stephen. Your generosity is just boundless. Thank you so much. And then for my good friend and patron, Heidi, she gave this 5 stars, and she was like, I think you would really, really enjoy this. It's a great, quick, short nonfiction, and it'll pop you out of any sort of reading slump that you're currently experiencing. Plus, it's got, like, basically googly eyes on the cover. So this is Glorious Exploits by Ferdia. I almost said Frida, but it's Ferdia Lennon. And, yes, I believe this is... Which one is this? This is... this is set during the time of Peloponnesian War. So I am planning to read this in November, and as always, Heidi, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your support and for recommending me great books. She also recommended me Deathstalker, so that was awesome, which I've already read. And then I received a review copy of System Apocalypse Liberty, Head of Class by Tao Wong and Jason W. Willis. This is a new kind of storyline set in the world of System Apocalypse, which I haven't started yet. And frankly, I'm going to go on the record right now, and Tao, if you're watching this, if you want to send me the rest of the System Apocalypse books, I would not complain, but I also intend to buy them anyway, so, I mean, frankly, you're going to get money out of me one way or the other. But this is supposed to be, like, I know System Apocalypse is kind of almost like Dungeon Crawler Carl, but this might be a little bit more serious. We've got aliens, we've got game mechanics and stuff like that. It's a fairly beefy book, but I've heard nothing but great things about System Apocalypse, so I am going to be getting to this one relatively soon, and then I can go in and explore the rest that System Apocalypse has to offer. But then again, Tao, if you want to send them to me, just saying, feel free to do so. And then we've got the stack that everybody is going to have to showcase, and I don't know if I have this in the correct order, but this is the Broken Binding Midnight Edition of the Dandelion Dynasty. And I can hear you saying, but Andrew, you walked away from Dandelion Dynasty 2 years ago, didn't you? And I would say, yes, I did. I think I've done this wrong. I think I need to shift this. There we go. And we've got the full sprayed edge. These are beautiful, beautiful editions. I got rid of my original hardcovers of these because of the non-matching spines and just the differences in the production that the American versions had, and I figured I would take the gamble, go ahead and get these, so that way I don't have, like, you know, oh, I missed out, because I missed out on the original set, and then they did the Midnight Edition. I was like, you know what, I do want to come back and give Dandelion Dynasty another try. Maybe I wasn't super fair to it. I have read Grace of Kings. You'll find it in this book haul. I've only read like 9 of these books. Some of which I read because I realized I hold so many books and I needed to justify buying so many books. But yeah, Kyle by Read by Kyle. We've had discussions on the Dandelion Dynasty. It's one of his favorite series. And I know a lot of my friends really enjoyed this series, and so I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to give it another shot, picking back up where I left off after Grace of Kings. So there's that. And then I did a video where I was just like, hey, recommend me books in the horror genre. And this is where things start getting a bit on the heftier side. And I was at Half Price Books, and one of the ones that was recommended to me was Phantoms by Dean Koontz. I don't know anything about this other than it's supposed to be one of Dean Koontz's better ones. And then I also picked up this awful mass market paperback tall edition of Watchers. It's just, you can see quite clearly it's like a 3/4 of an inch taller than the standard mass market paperback. I don't really like this format. This is what I used to read Dresden in. And yeah, I don't know. But if I like it, I might buy the trade paperback edition, which looks a lot better than this, of Watchers. It has something to do with dogs. That's all I know. But these are supposed to be on the spookier side, so these were 2 recommendations that I ended up picking up based off of that video. And then we've got the Jonathan Mayberry of it all. And let me tell you what, I got these off of Pingo Books. Pingo Books did not want me to get these books. They did everything in their power to make sure that I could not get them. And what I mean by that is, it just feels like a small conspiracy theory. I had to do a 3rd time's a charm, because the first one, had been sold out from underneath me, and they didn't update their stock. The second one, they just never shipped it. And then finally, the third one, I finally received my copy of Patient Zero, which I know John from Talking Story did a discussion with Brian from BellTube. And so I kind of didn't want to miss out. This is supposed to be like a zombie-type thriller, government agency type of deal. And The Dragon Factory is its sequel. So I got those off of Pingo Books. I'm not throwing shade at Pingo Books. Pingo Books actually has 100% quality guarantee. So if a book gets lost in the mail, the seller and the buyer, the buyer gets a refund and the seller gets paid anyway. And if they don't ship it, they just let you cancel it, no questions asked. I think you've got 72 hours before people can just cancel with no questions asked. You don't need to talk to the seller or anything like that. I love Pingo Books. It seems to be in the universe to keep me from buying more Jonathan Mayberry books. And then I picked up Michael McDowell's Blackwater. And this is a collection of 6 novellas from the 80s. Michael McDowell was a writer, I believe, on Beetlejuice, the original movie, and he was one of the script writers. And this is supposed to be a Southern Gothic horror novel. And I thought this was the hardcover when I purchased it. Turns out I had actually bought the paperback. This was $30, so we'll see. I've heard great things. I have more Michael McDowell on my wish list in the inevitability, or in the case that I like this. I don't know if that's what I was trying to say, but if I end up liking this, then he has more work so that I can then go and explore and buy off my Amazon wish list. So I'm excited to check this one out. It's almost got an animated anime cover here on the front. It's a very interesting kind of specific art style, but we shall see what this is all about. I know my buddy Mike over on Mike's Book Reviews read this one and really enjoyed it. And then let me do a bit of rearranging. Where is the other book? There it is. We're just going to have to reshuffle some stuff around because, my goodness. My goodness. When you buy a bunch of books from a single author and you don't stack them together for the book haul, that's professionalism. And I am a consummate professional, as I then bury one of the books under another stack of books. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, professional outfit here. Okay, I bought four J.D. Barker books, and then I read one of them. And the one that I read was Fourth Monkey. This is Four Monkey Killer. This is serial killer, thriller, fiction, and this was really good, pulse-pounding. So good that I had to immediately go buy Fifth to Die, which is its sequel. And then the same seller messaged me and says, by the way, I have book 3 on Pango. This is the 6th Wicked Child. These are the Four Monkey Killer books. And, so incredibly good. I am probably going to do a bulk review of the Fourth Monkey with some other books, but I just couldn't put it down. It was fantastic. And then I also got J.D. Barker's A Caller's Game, just because I enjoyed Four Monkey Killer so much, or the Fourth Monkey, that I decided to pick this up. It's Die Hard meets talk radio in this heart-pounding, relentlessly fast-paced thriller. Okay, sure, why not? So I picked up those 4 books right here. Very, very good covers. And yeah, I'm so excited. From where we left off for Monkey, I keep mixing up the title of the first book with the series name, with the book series name, book trilogy's name. What am I saying? Where am I? What's going on? Who are you? How did I get here? So sorry, Fourth Monkey. But yeah, very, very good. It's broken into like 2 different parts. We've got like this journal from the serial killer as a kid, where he chronicles his childhood and how he came to be who he is, and all that sort of stuff. Very cool. Then I got, why do I have nothing bunched together the way it should be? I got 2. Did I only get 2? Yes, I got 2 Grady Hris books. I got Horror Store, which I've already read. I love this. This is like an Americanized knockoff IKEA haunted house story where they built a big box store, IKEA knockoff, over an insane asylum like prison. And then that prison came back to haunt the IKEA store. Very good. And then I also picked up the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And I am also currently reading the My Best Friend's Exorcism. That's what it's called. My only issue with this one is that I got it from Pingo Books, and it is water damaged. Oh no! It's the only time I've ever had damage from a Pingo Books order. They reached out to offer me like a discount code or something like that, and I was like, it's fine. If it bugs me enough, I'll just buy another copy off of Pango, because I paid like $5 for this. And it's just the boards. The pages themselves are undamaged, and it's the backboard anyway, so chances are I'll probably never even see it. So yes, I have picked up some Grady Hris here to add to my horror collection. And then let's do the Stephen King stuff. So I did get a couple more Stephen King entries. I've got a video coming out about a kind of custom bound edition of The Long Walk, which I purchased this and then received that wonderful gift from Steve. This is just The Long Walk, which is also in the Bachman Books. But this is kind of a custom rebound edition that I got off of eBay. I have it's Jam's Gifts 18, I believe. I'll have a link in the description box down below of where I got this very affordable rebound editions. I plan on also picking up a copy of it. I just really like this. It's got like a suede cover. I've got a video coming out just about this edition. And then, of course, I picked up this 1990s reprint edition, or reissue, I should say, of Night Shift. Mainly because the original edition is hideous. And I wanted Night Shift. It was, again, one of the collections that I had read. And I remember thoroughly enjoying Night Shift. I've liked Skeleton Crew. I'm currently working on different seasons. So, again, King's short fiction is not to be slept on. Please do yourself a favor. If you're only reading his novels, check out some of his shorter stuff, because some of it absolutely slaps. There was one in there, I believe, where it was like a folding machine became sentient and started killing people. Like a laundry folding machine. It's just amazing. Great, great, great book. And then finally, we've just got a couple stacks left. I know, guys, I've been talking for a long time. So I picked up, based off of, again, I mentioned earlier, John from Talking Story. He is a horror aficionado. And so I've been getting a lot of recommendations from him. But initially, I picked up Slade House by David Mitchell. And I had seen him recommended on his channel. And he was like, I quite wouldn't start with Slade House if you're going to start reading David Mitchell. He's like, it's a bit that got lopped off of Bone Clocks. And I was like, okay, well, where should I start with David Mitchell? He's like, well, I just said Bone Clocks. And so I picked up Bone Clocks as well. So now I have Slade House and The Bone Clocks, a novel by David Mitchell. So we've got those. Again, I'm only hearing that he likes David Mitchell, and so I'm willing to give them a shot. All right, we're going to put you right there. And then I picked this up. This is Red River 7 by A.J. Ryan, also known as Anthony Ryan, one of my favorite fantasy writers, where he has kind of written a horror/mystery novel. 7 Strangers, 1 Mission, Infinite Horror. And yes, it's got blurbs by Philip Fracassi, Andy Marino, R.J. Barker, Mark Lawrence, all right here in this book. It's nice, it's short, it's from Orbit, it's a paperback. Why not? You knew I was going to pick this up eventually, because I love Anthony Ryan. And then I also picked up Kill Creek. This is one of the early ones that came on my radar. It says, at the end of a dark prairie road, nearly forgotten in a Kansas countryside, is the Finch house. For years it has remained empty, overgrown, abandoned. Soon the door will be open for the first time in decades, but something is waiting, lurking in the shadows, anxious to meet its new guests. And that sounds like a haunted house story. And I did read in a haunted house story, Richard Matheson's Hell House. I loved this. It's got a lot of graphic content in it, and I know it's not going to be for everybody. It's kind of like if Aleister Crowley's house became haunted from, I don't know if anybody knows about like the Satanist Aleister Crowley and stuff like that, but it kind of, in my opinion, draws some inspiration from there, and then like his house becomes haunted, and people go in and try and figure out what's going on, and then the house kills a bunch of people. That's Hell House. And so I kind of got that vibe from Kill Creek, and I was like, I'm going to check that out. And then because I wanted to do some haunted house stories, I also picked up the September House, which I've already talked about a little bit in my TBR video, where I was just like, okay, this is immediately on my TBR, because it's like this haunted house, and I read the first chapter, and homeowners are going to purchase the house, and the realtor's trying to tell them that people have died in the house, and they're so obsessed with the architecture that they're just not paying attention to them. And I was like, yes, please, I'm reading that immediately. So we've done those for haunted houses and mysteries and all that whatnot. Where am I going to put all these books? Okay, we've got 7 left. I'm going as fast as I can. I picked up Bird Box. Why? Because of the movie adaptation that I never watched, but I was interested on. It's got this awful sticker of now on Netflix. It's just on there, and it's awful, and it's terrible, but I'm going to see what it's about. I can do written horror much easier than I can visual horror. Like, I process them differently, and, like, on screen, horror freaks me out. On the page, I find it thrilling. So I'm going to do the book first, and then we'll see if I ever come around to the movie. I wanted to check out Christopher Golden. And the reason for that is he wrote a foreword in 21st Century Ghosts by Joe Hill. Is it 20th Century Ghosts? 21st Century Ghosts. 20th Century Ghosts. 20th Century Ghosts by Joe Hill. He wrote the foreword, and that was by Christopher Golden in the paperback edition. And I was like, who is this guy? I liked the foreword enough, and I was like, okay, let's go look up your backlog. Ararat. It's A-R-A-R... Ararat? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm butchering this. I'm doing it completely wrong. But, yeah, it just sounded interesting. Let's see what this is about. It's a heart-pounding tale of an adventure that goes wrong on a biblical scale. When an earthquake reveals a secret cave hidden inside Mount Ararat in Turkey, a daring, newly engaged couple are determined to be the first ones inside. And what they discover will change everything. So I really just picked this up because I read his foreword in a Joe Hill book. That's the only reason I picked it up. And this seems to be one of his more well-received novels. So that's why it's on my shelf. And then I picked up Necroscope to do a buddy read with Nico. Plain and simple, that's it. It's Brian Lumley. It's 1980s vampire. I've heard this is kind of like a slower paced sort of vampire story. I'm reading it this month. I see Russian espionage on the back. Espionage firm, so I'm assuming there's telekinesis and stuff like that. And I'm here for it. We'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, we've got Necroscope. And then, of course, I've already read Nosferatu. I only added this to my collection because I unhauled my hardcover, and then I regretted it. So I bought back a paperback to just add to my shelf. So Nosferatu is a great kind of horrific Stephen King novel. And then I believe this is another haunted house story. This is Chuck Wendig's The Book of Accidents. This is a new masterpiece of literary horror by the New York Times. Long ago, Nathan lived in a house in the country with his abusive father and has never told his family what happened there. So this is basically 2 individuals going back to their origins and being haunted by their past is what I'm kind of getting out of this one. But I wanted to check that out. And then also from Chuck Wendig, I got The Wanderers. This was kind of sold as like almost like post-apocalyptic, kind of like The Stand, but a little bit different. This is book 1 of 2. I decided to go ahead and pick this up just because I wanted to check out Chuck Wendig once he caught my attention. And then finally, I received my Kickstarter for The Pursuit of Shadows by J.A. Andrews. Now, unfortunately, my copy is one of the very few that is damaged. And so I am working with J.A. Andrews and Merrick Books on getting a replacement copy. This is gorgeous, by the way. I love the kind of blue, and I love the faux leather. It's blue, it's black. It's not white, but the blue and black is just absolutely stunning. Let me see if I just can't give you some of that shine. Great maps on the inside. You can kind of hear it creak. It's like, well, now that I've done it, it won't do it now, but you can kind of hear that it's like super creaky. That's because the leather isn't bonded right here on the book, and I don't know if I can get it to show you, but you know how usually there's a divot? The divot disappears right here and it bubbles up right there. And then there was a glob of just glue on the spine right there that unfortunately... anyway, I'm hoping to get a replacement copy, but the product itself is actually stunning. Just some great pieces of art. The third Kickstarter is coming out here soon, and I will be supporting that as well. I've already read this. I love this entire trilogy, so congratulations, J.A., on a gorgeous, gorgeous edition of Pursuit of Shadows. But that is the book haul. Are you tired of hearing me talk yet? If not, well, I'll stop here soon. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for people who sent me books. The gifts are amazing. They make my day. I appreciate you all. Also, a huge thank you to my patrons. And yeah, I'm hoping to buy even more books off of Pango or Amazon here soon to even fill out my horror backlog even more. If you want to send me a book, again, my Amazon wishlist is linked in the description box down below. If not, totally fine. I am more than happy to spend money on my own books, as you can clearly see. But yeah, till next time, guys. I hope you're doing well. Let me know in the comments down below which ones of these I should prioritize or what you purchased in September. But that's all I got for you. Till next time, peace out. Stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting my passion and my hobby. It means the world to me.